It's time to get a Shadow Heatran, but first I must wait for the game to load in, and once it's loaded in, we should get a balloon very soon, and it should have Giovanni because I have the Super Rocket Radar going, so whenever you want to spawn in, that'd be great. There's the daily spawn, which is a Wooloo, not a shiny one though, and I just saw the balloon right there. So there we go, this should be Giovanni. We should get some dots in just a second once it decides it wants to load. There we go, there's Giovanni. Now unfortunately, this is a brand new phone, so I don't have a team set up just yet, so let me find a place to put you guys down, and I'm going to make a good team. First thing we have to do though is we have to Omega Evolve this Lucario. This is a Hundo that has Shadow Ball, and it also has Power Up Punch. These are the moves that I'm going to be using, though Aura Sphere would also be really good with this. But for now, we're going to keep this Shadow Ball. I don't think I'm going to need Aura Sphere, but Omega Lucario is very important for this. So let's get back to the balloon real quick, and then we will fight him. But again, I have to make a team real fast. And this is what I'm going to go with right now. I don't know if this is the best team possible, but we'll see what happens. Now, obviously, Giovanni is a tough fight, but luckily with Mega Lucario, it becomes a lot easier, because in the beginning, Persian is the first Pokemon. And honestly, what I should have done is I should have switched into the Lucario, so I would have gotten the little timer switch here. But nonetheless, we've got to a Power Up Punch, which is great, but those scratches did a lot of damage, unfortunately. And I'm sure you're noticing that I'm not swiping on this. That's because they're gonna block this. They always do. But on the upside, I have gained a lot of energy. In fact, I might take it out, and no, I was saying maybe 2, but we're definitely not with 2. Now, here comes the wild card. What is the next Pokemon? It is Rhyperior. Oh my god, that is perfect. Let's get another Power Up Punch in here, and unfortunately, it does have Mud Slap, so that's not great. But the goal is to keep the Lucario alive for as long as possible, so I'm thinking we're gonna have to do a couple more things here. We're gonna have to throw the Power-Up Punch. I'm sure that it didn't land the attack, at least it hopefully didn't land the attack. I need to gain as much attack as possible while taking no damage, but I think I can make it to one more Power-Up Punch before I go. Yes, I do. Perfect. This is great. Now, unfortunately, there is another issue here where Heatran's gonna be next, and Heatran is a fire type, so if it has a fire move, I'm in a bad spot, but I've also gained a lot of energy, so we'll see what happens here. But as you can see, I am destroying this thing, but there it is, the Fire Spin. That's perfectly fine. Let's get in with the Machamp. The Machamp is also a fighting type. It isn't doing nearly as much damage, as you can see, but with Cross Chop, we're gonna be able to negate the attack of that Fire Spin, and we're gonna get a lot of damage in, and if it doesn't actually defeat the Heatran, on the upside, well, it did, but on the upside, it would have actually made it another 3-second timer before actually they would be able to attack again. But just like that, we just took out our Giovanni. Now, if you don't have a Mega Lucario, you can always use Machamp. Machamp is a really good use here. You could also use ground types like Garchomp. Garchomp is also really good in this situation. But let's see what we get for our rewards. 5,000 Stardust, 4 Max Potions. We're gonna get 8 Max Revives, which is fantastic. And now I've completed those steps for the special research, but now let's get ourselves a Shadow Heatran. And this is supposed to be a really good Pokemon, but I don't know exactly how good mine is. I did not look up the CPs ahead of time to see if this is a good one or not, but on the upside, it is a guaranteed catch as long as we hit it, which we did. So this should be a guarantee. It shouldn't break out. 1, 2, 3. Perfect, awesome. Very happy to have this thing. It's really good for PvP, but also as a fire type attacker, from what I've been hearing, it's actually really darn good. But let's see what an 808 is. Appraise, yeah, dang. We got the lowest attack possible. The lowest this thing can be is a 666, and unfortunately we got a 61213, so this one is not gonna be very good. Maybe as a PvP Pokemon for definitely Ultra League, definitely more of an Ultra League Pokemon. I don't really see it having much play in Great League, but nonetheless, I'm very happy to have this thing because it is a really good fire type. And the best part is I should be able to get rid of Frustration right now because the event just went live, so let's get rid of it. Yes, perfect, it has Iron Head. Now I know that the move you want to give it, I believe, is called Magma Storm. Yeah, we'll give it Magma Storm just to have it. I'm not going to purify this thing because it's not good purified. I mean, it's good as a normal Heatran. And if you can purify one into a Hundo and you don't have a Hundo, I might suggest doing that, but the downside to doing that is that it does lose the attack bonus. Its defense is also lowered because it is a Shadow Pokemon, so when you purify it, that all goes away. But from what I've been hearing, this thing is a really good fire type to have. So I would say it is worth using a Super Rocket Radar just for this, but in terms of getting multiples, I'm still not quite sure yet. But I'm sure you noticed that I completed 2 tasks, and that was for the Adventure Week Taken Over. This is from the last one. So that's what I've been doing. I've been saving Super Rocket Radars from previous, you know, Team Go Rocket takeovers, just so I can complete this now. So let's see what we get. 2,000 Stardust. We get ourselves 3,000 XP, and an encounter with an Aerodactyl. Pretty cool. Unfortunately, not a shiny one, but hey, you know, a fun encounter nonetheless, and it makes sense. That whole event was very much about fossil and dinosaurs and all that stuff. And I don't think this one's really good, but we'll take a look at it. We'll see how good it is. This guy right here is 12, 14, 12. Not quite that great. Now as I head back, let's claim page 5 of 5. We'll get all of this dust, which is awesome. And for some reason, the final rewards don't want to go through. Reloading in, there we go. We're actually getting it to work. 5,000 dust, which is amazing. 3 fast TMs, and we get ourselves 6,000 XP. And now that's officially done. Though admittedly, we can actually do this real quick. Spin a stop, and now we're 3 out of 3 days for the Masterwork Master Ball research. We're gonna claim this in time, but not right now. I want to be done with the whole thing. And would you look at that? Galar Carling, page 9 of 19 has become active. You know what? Since the hurricane isn't here yet, we should probably take care of that as fast as possible. And just like that, page 9 of 19 is done. Let's claim ourselves a nice little pineapple berry, a lovely little set of Pokeballs, and of course we get ourselves some charged TMs. I'm curious what kind of encounters we're gonna get. I actually am, because I like it when they give us some rare stuff. And that's actually a rare thing, and a boosted shiny, so good luck. Not a lot of people got their hands on this, unless you went to some of the Go Fests, then they were a little more common. Also, these are coming off of the Daily Instance right now. So if you're looking for a shiny Pancham, if you don't get it from this, the Daily Instance does pop them. They're not very common, but they do show up. And hopefully yours has better IVs. And now for page 10 of 19, catch 15 Pokemon, transfer 10, and defeat 6 Team Go Rocket Grunts. I feel like I know where this is going. 10 out of 19 done. Let's get the berries, the Great Balls, and of course the Rocket Radar pieces, and I have a feeling that we're gonna have to fight the leaders next, which I cannot do because it's 12:44 in the morning. Let's see what happens. Yep, we gotta defeat Arlo, Cliff, and Sierra, which I cannot do at this very moment. Hey there, it's 2 in the morning. Jet lag isn't hurting me at all. But hey, Sierra's here, so let's fight her. She has a brand new shiny Shadow, and I'm excited to fight it. And this is the team I'm gonna use, because our first Pokemon is going to be a Ralts, I believe. They should be the brand new shiny Shadow that she has, so there it is. This is a really good Pokemon to go for. It's the #1 fairy type when it comes to Shadows. And also, Arlo has Beldum right now. This is a great lineup. Now, admittedly, Cliff does have shiny Shadow Zigzagoon, which is cool, and it's not just normal Zigzagoon either. It's actually the Galarian form, the Galarian Zigzagoon, which is the first time they've ever had a Galarian form as a shiny Shadow, which is awesome. So let's see how we do here. Unfortunately, this guy right here is doing a lot of damage. These Sableyes do a lot. But as you can see, the Metagross is doing decent damage, and I'm honestly thinking I'm gonna switch out in just a second, because the problem is Metagross really isn't good for anything else here. I'm gonna switch into my Hundo Shadow Rhyperior, get some energy in here, because more than likely her last Pokemon is probably going to be Houndoom. It usually is, though sometimes she does have Alakazam and a few other things, but I think for now we're just gonna stick with Rhyperior. It's probably the best bet. Plus, she has no shields, and this thing does a lot of damage. Yep, there it is. We got a Houndoom. We're not even gonna let it do anything to me. We're just gonna use Rock Wrecker on this thing and absolutely wreck it. So there's the Excellent, and bang. Easy enough. Not that hard to bring her down, really. I remember when these leaders first came out, and they were just the biggest pains to bring down. And don't worry, we will go for these shiny Shadows in the future, of course, but right now, I really can only do this one until about 6 in the morning, and I'm gonna be asleep by then. So with that being said, shiny Shadow Ralts right here. Nope, not it. And a 98 CP. That is a decent number, but a good number you want, I believe, is 120. And if you have a weather boosted one, you want 200 exactly. That is the Hundo for that one. And again, go for it. It's a really, really good fairy type. I have a Hundo Shadow Gardevoir, and I use it all the time. It does so much damage. But for fun, a 98 is not great at all. Now, before we wrap this thing up, I do have my Field Research Breakthrough Box, so let's open it up, see what we get. We get some dust. We get a Remote Raid Pass. That's very rare. Very happy we got that. And the encounter is with a Galarian Weezing. That's fun. Usually I keep getting the Excadrill, which isn't a bad thing. Excadrill's a fantastic Pokemon, but at the same time, can't be shiny from these encounters, which is something I like a lot. You know what I mean? Whenever it can't be shiny, it's kind of like whatever, in my opinion. And all of them have also been very terrible, but this one, it's not much better. Now, before we head out, I do actually want to show you something that I got a couple of days ago, but I completely forgot to throw it in a video. I got a tiny shiny Seedot, which is fun to get tiny shinies. You know, I like XXL and XXS shinies. It's fun to get them, even though it's a Seedot, but you know, it's still kind of fun, and it works because it's just a little nut. Smash that subscribe button if you enjoyed today's video, and let me know in the comments down below. Have you gotten your Heatran yet, and how good did it come out? If you got a really, really good one, definitely brag about it in those comments down below. And if you're really enjoying the content and you want to see even more of it, I highly suggest this video right down here. But with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.